Right. Hey everyone. So I'm really happy to be back here in the latest edition of the Foodeshow. So in the today's topic, we'll be covering the framing the superfoods. So with me, I'm Semi Hakim from Cook Project, and with me today we have Christina Elvar from Olive Oil Copenhagen. We have Manel Mahada from Amendi Foods, and we have Eugene from Sophie's Bionutrients. And as I mentioned, we're going to talk about framing the superfoods and the craze of superfoods and how we are approaching on the future of superfoods with the experience that we have under our belt with the post-pandemic and even during pandemic period. So I'll be moderating this panel. My name is, as I mentioned, my name is Semi Hakim. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Cook Project. So in short, we are a accelerator and a corporate innovation partner for the agri-food sector. We focus heavily on agri-food sector. Food, agriculture, and water is basically our life and main interest. And we focus on startups, innovation, and collaborations within all these fields, across the emerging markets. I would like to start off with saying thank you so much for Hoda to inviting me and us to be part of in the latest edition of Foodeshow. We're big fan and always enjoy to being in. So I'll pass the mic to our great speakers today. Let's start with Christina, actually. So Christina, welcome. Could you tell us about yourself a bit? Sorry.
Hi, Semi. Thank you. Yes, my name is Christina Elver. I'm from Denmark. I'm an olive oil sommelier, a nutrition expert, a cook, and a food technologist. And some years ago, I started importing, selling, teaching the olive oil, the extra virgin olive oil, the qualities and the taste. And lately, I have started my own production of extra virgin olive oil, all organic, and I produce it in Spain and import and sell to Danish restaurants, kitchens, and private use also. And before I did that, I have been teaching nutrition for like 9 years, specializing in type 2 diabetes and heart diseases. And for me, this was just to prevent heart diseases and type 2 diabetes, maybe you should have some more extra virgin olive oil of high quality. Yeah.
So basically, connecting the health with that knowledge and basically focusing on nutrition and olive oil. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So let's move to Manel. Welcome, Manel from Amendi Foods. Please tell us about yourself.
Thank you, Hakim. As you mentioned, my name is Manel, and I'm from Morocco. Before joining the UM6P, I co-founded with my friends a company that we prefer to name Amendi Foods. Amendi, we chose the name because it's an Amazigh. It's a local name for barley and wheat. So we prefer to keep the link between what we are doing at the company and also the country and the traditions, even if what we are producing and what we are selling is far from our traditions. So we are producing quinoa and selling it in different forms, from seeds to flour to couscous to different variants, and we introduce it to different cookery, to the Moroccan cuisine, and we did this because we believe that by introducing quinoa and diversifying our dishes, we can have a better health. So that's who we are. So actually, I'm a researcher, always on searching on quinoa diversity at Mohammed VI Polytechnic University. And also we believe if entrepreneurship and also science can shape the nutritional security and food security in the world.
That's awesome. So you are an entrepreneur, but also a producer, also connected with the soil. That's awesome to know. So let's pass to Eugene. So Eugene, welcome from Sophie's Bionutrients. Could you tell us about yourself a bit?
Yes. So I'm the co-founder and CEO of this company called Sophie's Bionutrient. The name Sophie has a reason. Sophie is actually my daughter. She's allergic to shellfish. So all my career, all my life, I am searching for a way for people to use the nutrients from the ocean without using the animal. Before I started this Sophie's Bionutrients, I was in California starting the world's first plant-based seafood company called Sophie's Kitchen. And then along the way, I keep getting these questions from my consumers. They want to know if my plant-based seafood products have identical nutritional value like the real seafood. That's how I got to this research into using microalgae, using fermentation method to grow the alternative protein from microalgae. And then along the way, I found out this is really the most sustainable way for the future of mankind to grow food and nutrients using this simple microbe and the most sustainable way to satisfy all our needs. And I'm planning to dedicate my whole life to promote this idea. And hopefully the world would become a better place. And I'm very happy to join this panel and discuss more about this super idea with all of you.
That's awesome. I'm more than happy to also the moderate as well. But again, I mean, it's from the motivation to with your daughter to to the aim of changing the world. It's just inspiring. And I've been personally also following Sophie's Bionutrients for a while now. And I remember that you were talking about that the whole motivation actually started with your daughter. It's awesome. So
Right.
happy to be here with all of you. So let's start with actually with since we're going to talk about framing superfoods, and that means actually, customers, that means actually customer acquisition, that means actually reaction. So let's start with you, Christina. So, as a Mediterranean, as a person, who grew up in Turkey, live in Istanbul, olive oil is essentially, part of my life since we are born. And for me, it's just, way we live, like olive oil. You have olive oil every time you sit down and eat. But I mean, since you are in Denmark, you're in Copenhagen, your company name is Olive Oil Copenhagen. How did that connection happen? Like, how did you convince your customers, and how did that change and shift in preferences to the customers? How did you accomplish that?
Yeah, that's a big question. We don't have olive trees in Denmark that we can produce extra virgin olive oil from. So I chose Spain to find a producer that is now my very close partner, and I produce my oil at their facilities. Olive Oil Copenhagen is the name of my company, to combine the cold Denmark. We live in the cold north up here. We need some sunshine, so we need some healthy extra virgin olive oil. Actually, I had a period where for 9 years I was teaching diabetes and heart diseases. And I just got to a point where I thought, if we could get some more extra virgin olive oil with a high level of polyphenols, which we also know as antioxidants, into the Danish food, maybe we could do some more prevention and get some more healthier eating out there to the consumers in Denmark. So that was like the takeoff. I'm also a chef, so the taste is absolutely very important. So I'm a kind of, I need the high quality in polyphenols, I need the balance in the extra virgin olive oil, and I need the taste to be perfect. So I'm quite difficult in that way. But I have done a lot of consumer testing, and it's very interesting. I think about 80% of the Danish consumers, they tell me when they taste my olive oil, wow, is this olive oil? I've never tasted that before. And I say, no, but you had extra virgin olive oil in your kitchen since you were a child, but it's just not a fresh, high quality extra virgin olive oil. So what I'm usually saying, it's easy to make an olive oil. It's difficult to make the highest quality, which is called extra virgin olive oil, and you need a very special know-how to produce a balanced extra virgin olive oil where the taste and the levels of polyphenols is high. Mm-hmm. And actually, we have the European Food Safety Authority, EFSA. I don't know if you know them, but you can put 2 health claims on your extra virgin olive oil if it has a high level of polyphenols inside it. And you can state that replacing saturated fats with monounsaturated fats, then it helps maintain a normal level of cholesterol in the blood.
Mm-hmm.
And also you can say that olive oil polyphenols helps protect the blood from oxidative stress.
Right.
So overall, it protects from heart diseases and from strokes. And this claim is like the science it's built on. It's more than 10 years old. So for the last 10 years, we had a lot of new studies, a lot of new science. We cannot say it yet, but everything points in the direction. Also for diabetes type 2, you have a more, the extra virgin olive oil increases the sensitivity for the balancing of the blood sugar. And it can prevent overweight, and it has a lot of health. Also, breast cancer and digestive cancer there's a lot of research on this. So it is this kind of superfood.
That's awesome. So basically, I was gonna, as we discussed this before the the session, is that I remember like one of the the most famous Danish chefs was mentioning the olive oil was actually being sold in the pharmacies back then, probably years and years ago. So that connection, that shift, I think there's some sort of like a scratch noise. Do you hear it as well?
Yeah, I hear it. Somebody has a kid at home.
From the mic, I think. Anyways, so as I was saying, so basically that positioning is not actually that changed then in Copenhagen. So it's still heavily focused on health, as you mentioned, and it's still more focused also have like a taste side of it as well. Excellent.
Yeah.
So that's perfect. So let's move to. There's some problem with the noise. I think I keep hearing it. Right? You guys hear it as well?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Eugene, maybe it's from your mic. Maybe just.
I guess. Hold on.
Yep. Exactly.
All right.
Awesome.
Sorry for the
noise. Do not worry about it. Do not worry about it. So as I was saying, since we're talking about customer acquisition, let's move to Manel. So Manel, you mentioned you're working on you're in the field, you're also an entrepreneur, but you're focusing on quinoa, which is not a native crop for Morocco. So how did you convince your customers? How did you acquire your customers and convincing them to have your quinoa to eat and use it as a preparing the couscous instead of the wheat version of it? How was your journey on that?
Yeah, it was a very exciting journey indeed, but full of discovery of our traditions and our cookery habit. And also we learned a lot by mixing traditions and culture. So quinoa is originated from Latin America, and we are lucky that it grows also in Morocco, and it's well adapted to our climate. And now it starts resolving a lot of problem, not only related to food security or food consumption, but it's also we are using it for small farmers, and also we are using it in lands where production of wheat or barley is reducing, and also due to the drought and also the salinity. So that's one of the purpose of producing quinoa in Morocco, mainly in dry areas. I return back to your question about how difficult was the fact of trying to convert people to new traditions, to new food habits. Well, it's not very easy in Morocco, because you know that the Mediterranean food system is based on olives, oil olive, and also olive oil, also wheat, barley, and introducing a new things. They must be first delicious, and this is the point, the difficult point we find on quinoa. So it contains saponin, and it has a bitter taste. And to to limitate or to reduce this taste, we were obliged to try new recipes, and also to add some sweets. So, and our and at Amandi, we don't believe that we want to help people to be healthy, so we can't add sugar to our recipes. So what we did is that we looked for recipes, traditional recipe that we have in Morocco, like a recipe that we call slilo or slilo. It's something. It's a mixture of almonds, of oil, olive oil, sesames, and we add the flour to it. So instead of adding wheat, we added quinoa. So, and it gives a very delicious mix. The other thing is that we introduce it as like couscous. We use it as couscous, and to do so, it's difficult that we to eat like 150 grams or 200 grams at once. So what we did is that we mix it with wheat, with barley, and also with maize and rice to have a mix that we can cook, because you know that the couscous is served in one dish, and it's generally one kilogram of couscous per 8 people. So it's a delicious dish, and at the market we can sell it very well, especially when we mix it with some African crops like millets. So, and here we can like, if we can say that we're bringing what's good from Latin America, and we mix it with what is local, and the mix is very rich in nutrients, very rich in fibers, and I believe this is a good approach.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's always about localization of the product itself, right? I mean, thinking about, for example, dipping Danish breads into an olive oil, or using quinoa for selu. So we have end product that can be added. So that's the main approach on that. So that being said, I want to pass the mic to Eugene. So you mentioned a lot with the motivation, changing the world as well, and one of the taglines that you use is the sustainable urban protein. So how do you focus on B2C as well, regarding how do you convince the customers, or how do you acquire your customers, or how do you provide them the nutrients that you provide, you create to them, and how do you convince them to consume them in a way? Could you tell us about that?
Yeah. So the topic is framing superfoods. And I think so far today, I can say that when we talk about superfoods, we are always talking about our inner self, meaning super to our body, not super to anything else, meaning super to the environment, super to anything that is touching on it. So along the way, when I was researching this alternative protein from microalgae using fermentation technology, I found out, really the future superfood should be the one that is super, not just to our body, but also to our environment, to our future generations, to all the things that we touched, to this planet, and even to anything invisible. What that means is that the super, in this sense, meaning that we really have to pay attention to what kind of impact we leave to whatever we encounter, we engage. Meaning, when you grow your foods, when you do this action, do this execution, will it impact other than yourself, impacting the environment, your future generations? Will it leave good things or bad things? And I think that will be the new definition of superfoods, meaning that a really true future superfood is something that is not only super in its nutrition content, which is definitely absolutely true in our case in terms of microalgae. It is really the king of nutrients. When you think about it, it packs all the nutrients better than all other microbes, even better than some of the animal protein. But it is also super to the environment, meaning that if we can grow it sustainably, you leave no impact, no deforestation, no greenhouse gas. And I truly think, look at the future. This really should be the definition of the future superfood, is that the superfood we're looking for in the future should be something not only good for your body, but good for everything that it touches, everything that it leaves behind. Then we will really have a wonderful future world, not just for us, but for our future generations. So that's my 2 cents after doing all these years.
I totally agree. Yeah.
That's awesome. Actually, I wanted to I would like you to keep the mic, and I wanted to ask you a question that this is sort of like a topic of these weeks as well, since we are also talking about the future, the superfoods, etc. As we are also following the Mars rover, right? The Perseverance. It's in Mars. And we are the generation of dreaming of reaching the Mars, as the previous generation was dreaming to reaching the moon, and now we're talking about reaching the Mars. So how would you position the Sophie's bionutrients into the space? Like, could we imagine this sustainable urban protein would be taking with the astronauts and bringing to Mars, or sort of like added products? Like, do you think we can see that? Like, could you elaborate on that a bit?
Yeah. So when you think about extreme superfoods or extreme sustainability, you are talking about a total freedom. I mean, a lot of time people don't really think about this topic deep enough. So people think, what is the future definition of super? What is the future definition of sustainability? Because I like to associate with super with sustainability is because that the reason why you want super is because that you want it to be worry-free. By worry-free, I think sustainability is a perfect synonymous for worry-free. Why? Because when you are able to achieve total sustainability, you are free of any kind of fear, free of any kind of boundary, and free of any kind of limitation. So, quite seriously, if you're able to achieve total sustainability, you are able to do some sort of action in any environment, be it in the crowded spacecraft for like 3 or 5 years to reach a destination, or on a planet like red planet like Mars, where there is nothing you can grow foods, but then you manage to grow fruits with the microbe called microalgae and then grow it on Mars. So the idea of our philosophy or our technology is very simple. Use the very simple, very basic, which is the microbes called microalgae in this case. Microalgae can be found on planet Earth. It can be found on even planet Mars. Because why? Asteroids carry them all around. And if you can research enough of different kind of microalgae on this planet Earth, say, for example, some scientists from Antarctica have this anti-freezing microalgae that can survive in that extreme environment. Then going to Mars, we can find this microalgae surviving in the extremely cold condition. Then you don't have to have the Matt Damon crazy potato tent to grow your foods. When you are on Mars, you can grow your microalgae out in the open for your foods. And that, my friend, is the time when we can talk about really, truly superfoods, really, truly the sustainable foods that you can grow anywhere, even on Mars.
You nailed that question for sure.
Thank you. It is my crazy idea, but then again, think about it. It's actually a very simple idea. It's just
I totally agree, but I think
Yeah.
we should do the sustainable way on the planet Earth first and try to solve it.
We definitely have to start from
We
Earth.
have to
Yes.
do that. We have to do that. Yeah, that's for sure. Like those astronauts need to come back in one point, so we got to take care of that as well.
Absolutely. Yes.
So coming back to the Earth.
To Earth.
I wanted to actually dive in. So I wanted to pass the mic to you, Manel, first, and then Christina with the same question actually. So since we're diving a lot into the future, close future, distant future, but we're also living in a future that we were not expecting with the pandemic, and we're changing our consumption habits, and we're changing the way we work as well. So that also resonates to the stuff that we prefer, or way we eat, when we eat, and the portions that we eat. So Manel, coming back to the point of the post-pandemic period, did any of your customers, the preferences, like people have changed their perception to quinoa, or would they be starting to prefer having quinoa more instead of wheat, or how would any sort of like a reaction did you receive with the post-pandemic, or any sort of like an expectation with the upcoming months and years with the products that you're producing and selling as well?
Yeah, indeed. Everything has changed even during the pandemic, because we are not in the after pandemic. We're still during, and things are still changing in our habits. And in our experience, well, we felt, but we measure. We have numbers that the consumers now, they start giving more interest to their health, to what they eat, and from where they buy it. They are buying this. So yes, we during the pandemic we noted increase in sales, and this is yeah, we can say that it's due to we can see people that they have they want to diversify their foods. They want to get the maximum from superfoods, from anything that will increase their immunity, and anything that will help them to be to defeat this pandemic. So we noted an increase, and the people they start asking, they start knowing, instead of just eating quinoa because it's a trend, they start now looking for good foods or good substitute to add them to their habits. For example, they start now adding quinoa to their salads with some olive oil or some argan oil. They start using it in soup, some quick dish or some slow cooking dishes. So the pandemic is changing our habits.
Excellent. And same question to you, Christina. How was your journey so far, and what are you expecting with the upcoming months and maybe even a year with your customers?
Well, during last year, I started to increase my selling through my web shop Olive Copenhagen. Before that, the most of my sales were to restaurants and chefs and kitchens. Because we started in Denmark anyway to buy more from local producers and to support the local businesses also. So this has increased. I'm researching a lot in consumer trends, and it is more and more, the consumers are more and more concerned about the health. So what do I put in my body? Is this nutrition good for me? Can I do something for the immune response if I get a sickness? And so there's a larger focus on high quality fresh food, more or less. And also we need to take care, like Eugene said, it's kind of not only the nutrition part and the health part in the foods and the superfoods, but also to take care of the environment and how we produce it, how we buy it, and to do it in a sustainable way. So for my olive oil, anyway, it's all my products are organic, and from each liter of olive oil I produce, we take out 10 kilos of CO2 from the atmosphere, and we had a lot of increase in insects and all like this in the olive grove. So, and also the step further away from that is to ensure all the workers have a good work with good conditions, pay them for what they do, treat everybody in the line from the production to the transport to the selling in the shop, no matter which shop it is. So I think a lot of consumers have increased the awareness on how we produce our food. What is the quality? How do we transport it from one place to another on planet Earth, not on Mars? And yeah, I think there's an increase in this. And I know there's an increase for interest for high quality nutrition in your foods. Yeah.
Excellent.
And for that, maybe we should just frame the superfoods. There's a lot of different superfoods, but all of us needs a little bit of everything within this category. Yeah, not only olive oil. Yeah.
Of course, that's actually that's going to be my second question to all of you. Since, as you mentioned, we're talking about framing superfoods, but you're three of you also are entrepreneurs and who are actually within different ecosystems, different geographies, different types of customers, and we have a lot of entrepreneurs also listening to this session. Will be listening later on in the upcoming as well. So I would love to lead with the question, and would love to hear your comments on your journey and your advice for upcoming superfood entrepreneurs, and how was your journey and the challenges that you encountered, and what would be your advice for the the next in line for the superfood entrepreneurs. Let's start with you, Christina, and then we'll continue with Manel and Eugene.
Well, that's a good question. As starting a company, there's a lot of issues to deal with. For me, the most important factors was working with extra virgin olive oil. It has to be organic. It has to be produced sustainable. It has to have a high and good taste. This is because I'm an olive oil sommelier and a chef. The nutrition was super important because I'm also a nutritionist, and I've been teaching diabetes type 2 and heart diseases for so many years. So for me, this was the ground rules. This is the basic of everything I do. High in quality, high in taste, and high for quality. It's both for the food and for the sustainability, how we produce it and how we maintain the earth around us. I think, when you start up, you have so many challenges to face. I'm really good at olive oil, nutrition, health food, but there's all the other parts of being an entrepreneur, from how do you build a web page, how do you build a web shop to sell your products, how do you connect with the distribution parts. I don't know, you have to research. That's probably my best advice. You have to take one step at a time, take one challenge at a time, and then be sure to connect with other entrepreneurs that has been in the game for a longer time. They are more than willing to hand out good ideas and share their experience. Yeah.
Excellent advice. So basically you're saying know what you're doing, do a research, and to know what you're talking about. Excellent. Same question, Manel. How was your journey, and any advice or any of the challenges that that was definitely need to be mentioned? Manel, you're on mute, I guess. Just 1 second. Yeah.
Yeah, my journey started when I was preparing my PhD. During the PhD, I discovered quinoa. I was working on its production in dry area in Morocco and its adaptability here, looking for varieties that are well adapted. So that was the biggest problem I had during my PhD. But I can say I was lucky to work in an area where I saw that there is a business opportunity. Then with my colleagues. One is a researcher at the same university, and the other one is now conducting a PhD in Germany, in innovation and entrepreneurship. And he was a topographer, surveyor, so he changes his what he studies because he when starting M&D, he discovered what he wanted to be and what he wanted to do. So, well, M&D, it has shaped our personalities, it has shaped our future. And for me, it helped me to stick on research and to believe that combining research and entrepreneurship can have a good impact, not only on producing papers and research and looking for high impact journals, but also producing impact in the ecosystem and also in the community we are working with and in. So for example, here we are working in the university is in a dry area. It's very, very vulnerable and very sensitive to all challenges. Like we have drought, we have salinity, we have some social problems, and here we are trying to resolve them one by one, as what Christina said, by introducing new food crops to the farmers, which is very difficult to handle. So it's we need to convince them that this is a good alternative, that is they can consume it and they can eat it, and also they can sell it. So here one of the challenges that we faced during the setup of the company is that finding the first not only consumer but the first farmers who will believe in our products. And that wasn't easy until we found two who helped us to grow our community. Well, the challenges are big, but and they are many. But maybe the message, the home message that we can say to students, to entrepreneurs, researchers, to everyone, is that by entrepreneurship we can change many things. So we can create jobs, we can promote superfoods, we can superfoods by as Eugene, as the definition of Eugene, superfoods that will help us to respect environment, to respect people who are producing this, and also to respect our health and our body. So maybe you need to patent this definition, Eugene. And I will adopt it, because superfood is not only food which is packed with protein, that has protein, lipids or phenols, but it contains a lot of impact on human and environment.
Excellent. So basically, know your motivation, plan it, and convince your community, convince basically your network. That's awesome. Same question, Eugene. What was your journey, your challenges, or any of the advice that you would like to share?
So the journey, the challenge, and the advice I have for future entrepreneur is this very key word: information. Information flows really freely and easily, especially after two things happen. One is smartphone, especially Steve Jobs, thanks to his iPhone. And another thing is social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. Why? This is my true story. I started Sophie's Kitchen back in 2010 in Sebastopol, California. The first 2 years was very quiet. And then all of a sudden in 2013, I got a lot of inquiries from UK, from Germany, from Israel. I was curious. I was intrigued. I started to ask them, why you guys all of a sudden are interested in plant-based? Then they all told me they have the social media, and a lot of celebrities on the social media are trying to promote and telling them what are the advantages to be on a plant-based diet. And as you can imagine, during COVID, people are spending more and not less time on their social media and smartphone. And that's why, as Christina and Manel pointed out, after the pandemic or during the pandemic, there were or are so many changes. Because why? People are too bored to some extent. So they get onto these social media. They are information hungry. They get a lot more information. After they got the information, they changed. And so that was my experience, and that will be my advice for future researchers and future entrepreneurs as well, is that you really have to pay attention to how the information flows today, because it is really tricky. Because why? People have so many tools in their hand today, and you never know how these information flow. And you never know how fast a trend or a diet or whatever is being picking up. But if you're able to be capturing that, you're going to be the winner. Or at least you're not the loser, so to speak. And so I think my advice for future generations, not just limiting to entrepreneurs and researchers, are information. Is that try not to be the Stone Age people where you are locked up in a cave and don't care about the outside world. Try to be embracing the world, because what happened in the world is just changing so fast. Information flow so quickly and so freely. If you're losing 1 second, you're losing your whole life.
That's awesome. That's absolutely. So you're basically saying follow the trends, follow the information, and know
exactly
where to stream it. That's awesome. This was awesome. Thank you so much for all of you. But before we go, since we're getting closer to our last seconds, I would like to give 10 or 15 seconds to each and every one of you to if there anything you would like to share, anything cool happening within your companies, or anything you would like to plug in for people to reaching out to you or share the information with you, or anything basically you would like to share which you find it really cool to be shared. So let's start with you, with you, Christina. Any last words you would like to share?
Oh, yes, I'm working on food innovation. So actually, I have a new product that is not at the moment existing on the Danish market, and I'm quite sure not a lot of it in Europe anywhere. So I am developing another product. It's healthy, it's good taste, and it's not produced. It's low. What do you say? It's not been heated. It has not been altered a lot, and there's a few ingredients. So it's always my keyword: taste and health. Yeah.
Right. Nice. Awesome.
Okay.
Manel, no, that was excellent. Thank you, Christina. And Manel, anything you would like to share as a sign off, as a last words?
At MND now we are working on developing new products that we will be releasing in the market very soon. And we are still discovering our market, and we are still looking for new products to introduce to our habits. And our major concern is that we not to change the wheat by quinoa, but to make everything together to take the maximum from it. Thank you.
Excellent. And Eugene, anything you would like to add as a sign off?
Just 2 words: think big. By that I mean, don't think big about your dream, but think big means that generous to the people, to the environment, to everything, everyone. If you're generous, big to everything, everyone, they will reply you. They will turn your favorably, you will get the biggest return. So be generous to all the people, all the environment you encounter. That's my 2 cents.
Excellent. Excellent sign off. Again, thank you so much for all of you. It was really inspiring, regarding, learning more about your journey and your advices, and also I think that will be really, fruitful for a lot of entrepreneurs, and also the people who are, watching this session, having comments and questions, but it's also will be watching later on as well. So I would like to take the opportunity again, and thank you so much for all of you joining in, and also thank you, Hoda, and also the Foodeshow. And that's our session. So we'll see you next time then.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.